The moment the most feared mafia boss in the city heard his own wife say, "I swear to tell the truth," he realized she was about to destroy everything he had built, or save the only man she had ever truly loved. The courtroom fell silent. Federal agents stared at her. Rival crime families waited for the empire to collapse. And the man sitting at the defense table, the ruthless king everyone believed she married for power, looked at her with something no one had ever seen before. Fear, because only she knew what really happened on the night that left 3 powerful men dead. And if she spoke the truth, someone inside that courtroom wasn't walking out alive. But here's the question no one could answer. Why would the wife of the city's most dangerous mafia boss risk her own life to save him, after secretly planning to betray him for months? The answer begins long before the trial, on a rainy night, with a girl who believed monsters only existed in stories. She was wrong. Her name was Isabella. At 24, she had already buried both of her parents, survived crushing debt, and spent every waking hour trying to protect the only family she had left, her younger brother, Daniel. She wasn't searching for luxury. She wasn't chasing adventure. She just wanted an ordinary life. But ordinary lives don't survive when the mafia comes knocking. Everything changed the night Daniel disappeared. His apartment looked untouched. His phone had been switched off. The police called it another missing persons case. But Isabella knew better. Daniel never broke promises, especially not the promise he made to call her every single night. 3 days later, a black envelope appeared outside her apartment door. Inside was a single photograph. Daniel, alive, bruised, terrified. On the back, only 6 words. "Come alone if you love him." No signature, no address, only a time. Midnight. Most people would have called the police. Isabella didn't, because whoever had Daniel knew exactly where she lived, which meant they were already watching. At exactly midnight, a black luxury sedan stopped beside her. The driver opened the rear door without saying a word. She climbed inside. For the next 40 minutes, nobody spoke. The city lights disappeared behind tinted windows until the car finally entered a massive private estate hidden beyond iron gates. That's where she met him. Adrian Romano, the man newspapers called a successful businessman, the man politicians secretly feared, the man every criminal organization refused to challenge, the king of an empire built in shadows. He didn't threaten her. He didn't raise his voice. He simply placed another photograph on the table. Daniel, still alive. Then he offered Isabella a choice that would change every second of her future. Marry him. In exchange, her brother would live. Refuse. And Daniel would disappear forever. Most people watching this story would probably ask the same question. Why didn't she run? Why didn't she fight? Because Adrian revealed something even worse. Daniel hadn't been kidnapped randomly. Someone had framed him for stealing millions from the Romano family. Whether Daniel was guilty no longer mattered. Every rival family believed he had the money, which meant even if Adrian released him, someone else would kill him. Suddenly, marriage wasn't a prison. It was protection. Or at least, that's what Adrian wanted her to believe. So Isabella accepted. Not because she loved him, not because she trusted him, but because sacrificing her freedom seemed like the only way to save her brother's life. What she didn't know was that Adrian Romano had never married for love. Until her. And that one decision would ignite a war capable of destroying everyone they cared about. Because while Isabella believed she was entering the safest mansion in the city, someone inside that mansion had already decided she would never live long enough to become the mafia queen. And she had absolutely no idea that the greatest threat wasn't outside those walls. It was already waiting inside. Stay with me, because everything changes the moment Isabella discovers why Adrian truly chose her. And the secret hidden inside a 20-year-old photograph that should never have existed. Isabella expected her new life to feel like captivity. Instead, it felt like living inside a beautiful cage. The Romano estate had everything money could buy: gardens, priceless art, armed guards, and walls so high they seemed to hide the sky itself. Adrian gave her freedom to walk anywhere on the property, but never beyond the gates without an escort. He never forced affection. He never demanded she pretend to love him. That made him harder to hate. Days turned into weeks. Isabella searched constantly for Daniel, but Adrian insisted he was safe in a secure location until the accusations against him could be cleared. Every request to see her brother ended with the same answer: not yet. Then strange things began to happen. Someone entered her room while she slept. A family portrait vanished. A warning note appeared in her closet: leave before it's too late. Adrian tightened security, but Isabella noticed something unsettling. Whoever was threatening her always stayed one step ahead of his guards. The danger wasn't outside. It was inside the Romano family. Then she discovered the photograph. Hidden inside an old library book was a faded picture taken 20 years earlier. A young Adrian stood beside his father, and beside a little girl wearing a silver necklace identical to Isabella's. She froze. How could Adrian have known her as a child? When she confronted him, he admitted only half the truth. Years earlier, Isabella's father had saved Adrian's life during an attack between rival families. Before dying, he had begged Adrian to protect his daughter if anything ever happened. Adrian had spent years searching for her. He hadn't chosen her because she was weak. He had chosen her because he believed he owed her father a debt that could never be repaid. For the first time, Isabella saw the burden Adrian carried beneath his cold exterior. She also realized something else. He wasn't the only one searching for her. Across the city, another Mafia family had finally learned where she was. Not because they wanted revenge, because they believed Isabella possessed evidence capable of exposing every powerful criminal organization in the country, evidence she didn't even know existed. That night, gunfire shattered the silence. The Romano estate became a battlefield. Masked attackers stormed the mansion. Guards fell. Windows exploded. Adrian didn't run toward safety. He ran toward Isabella. He shielded her with his own body as bullets tore through the hallway. For a man feared by thousands, his only concern was keeping one woman alive. They escaped through underground tunnels beneath the estate. But the attack left devastating consequences. Daniel had disappeared again. Only this time, Adrian swore he hadn't taken him. Someone else had. And whoever now controlled Daniel demanded one impossible exchange: bring them Isabella, or her brother dies before sunrise. The search uncovered a betrayal deeper than anyone imagined. The mastermind wasn't a rival boss. It was Adrian's trusted consigliere, Victor. For 15 years, Victor had secretly manipulated both sides of the Mafia war, profiting from every death while preparing to seize Adrian's empire. Daniel had unknowingly discovered Victor's financial records and was framed before he could expose the truth. Everything had been planned: the kidnapping, the forced marriage, the attacks, even the upcoming trial. Victor intended to eliminate Adrian legally after destroying him from within. When authorities arrested Adrian for the murders of 3 rival leaders, the evidence appeared overwhelming. The weapon, the witnesses, the financial records. Everything pointed to him. Only Isabella knew the missing piece. On the night of the murders, Adrian wasn't ordering executions. He was saving Daniel from Victor's men. If she revealed that truth in court, Adrian might go free. But Victor's hidden allies had already threatened her. Testify, and you'll never see your brother alive again. For days she wrestled with an impossible choice: protect Daniel, or save the man she had sworn never to love, yet somehow couldn't bear to lose. The courtroom arrived. The world watched. Adrian never asked her to speak. In fact, he quietly accepted the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars if it meant Isabella and Daniel could survive. That silent sacrifice changed everything. When Isabella stepped onto the witness stand, every eye followed her. She could lie, walk away, live. Instead, she told the truth. Not part of it, all of it. She revealed Victor's betrayal, the hidden accounts, Daniel's kidnapping, and the evidence she had secretly copied before entering the courtroom. The room erupted. Victor tried to flee. Federal agents stopped him before he reached the exit. His own allies turned against him. Years of lies collapsed in minutes. Adrian was cleared of the murders. Daniel was rescued alive from an abandoned warehouse only hours later. For the first time in years, the war finally ended. Months passed. The Romano Empire changed. Illegal businesses disappeared one by one, replaced with legitimate companies. It wasn't easy. Enemies remained. Trust had to be rebuilt. But Adrian kept the promise he had made to a dying father decades earlier. He protected Isabella. Not because of an old debt anymore. Because she had become the reason he wanted a different future. People still whispered about the day the Mafia boss's wife took the witness stand. Some believed she saved a criminal. Others believed she saved an innocent man trapped by the world he inherited. Only Adrian and Isabella knew the full truth. Love hadn't erased the darkness. It had simply given them the courage to walk out of it together. And sometimes, the bravest person in a courtroom isn't the judge, or the lawyer, or even the accused. Sometimes, it's the woman willing to risk everything for the man she loves, because telling the truth is more dangerous than facing the mafia itself. If this story kept you guessing until the very end, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more unforgettable mafia romance stories, where love is always tested, and nothing is ever as it first appears.